So I know a lot of people, I mean, obviously I've talked about my disease and what I go through. I've let you guys know like some of the side effects that I've had and some things that I'm experiencing now after beating a lot of the sickness. But I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I think it was September of last year. I have always had stomach issues. I've always had like a very sensitive stomach. Like I've always had a lot of different foods that bothered me. I've always had a lot of different things in general that have bothered me. And I also suffer with severe anxiety. I have really, really, really bad anxiety. I always have. It started when I was in high school. The Crohn's thing is definitely something that partners with anxiety a lot of the time. They say Crohn's disease is 50% anxiety, 50% diet. So my lifestyle has changed a lot over just this past year. I was very sick for a long time. So with Crohn's, what happens is you have something called a flare-up. And a flare-up is pretty much like you have the worst stomach virus of your life for a period of about 2 days. And the first day you are extremely ill. You really can't do much. It's pretty much bedridden sickness. You just really can't do anything with your life that day. The second day is more painful. So the first day you're just very sick, very nauseous. There is a lot of pain involved in the stomach, like you have a really bad stomach ache. But the second day feels like you ran a mile, feels like you were hit by a bus, you did a million crunches, like everything is just so sore. It's pretty painful the second day. You're not ill anymore, but you're pretty much in just as much pain. It's a different type of pain. So I went through having those probably once to twice a month all last year. So every month it was happening once or twice a month. It got to the point where I was like, this can't be a stomach bug anymore. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought I was just getting these viruses, or I was getting the flu every now and again, or my immune system was just really bad. I've always gotten sick very often when I was a child, growing up, everything. So it didn't really cross my mind that anything necessarily was wrong. I just thought that I was getting sick. And eventually it got to the point where I had had such a bad flare-up that it had sent me to the hospital. So we were at our best friend's house. We were eating crabs with them, just pretty much having like a date night, hanging over their house. And it was fine. And then all of a sudden, while I was eating my crabs, I did have a beer. I had just a Mick Ultra, which wasn't out of the ordinary. Like that's what I always drank. Ate some crabs, and then all of a sudden while I was eating, I was just starting to get this like really bad like bloating pain in my stomach. And my stomach really had always hurt after I ate any type of shellfish, crab, shrimp, anything like that. So I was like, okay, well maybe these crabs just didn't sit very well. Well, once we got home, went to sleep, I woke up probably about 2 in the morning in such severe pain that I could not stand. I could not even sit up out of my bed. My boyfriend and my mom had to pretty much carry me to the car, take me to the emergency room. I was in, excruciating pain. I had never felt pain like that before in my life. It was not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. I wasn't really thinking about how just sitting here talking to the camera, like how it could possibly make me emotional. But anyways, so yeah, I had to get emergency surgery. I was pretty much out of it the entire time I was there. I really don't remember much of that first situation at all. I was either really ill or really drugged, so not much of it is very clear in my head. But yeah, after they did the surgery, the doctor came out and had told my mom that if we would have waited, because what happened was, since it was an emergency surgery, I wasn't scheduled in his book, and he was booked with surgeries that entire Friday. And so we had talked about how he was either going to squeeze me in on that Friday, or he was going to wait and we would do it on the Monday once he came back from the weekend. That Friday was more of a guessing game. There was a possibility that he could be doing the surgery, and there was a possibility that he wasn't going to be doing the surgery. And then a spot opened up. So I had a 5:30 slot. It's one thing that I remember. The surgery, it was either 5 or 5:30, and he was able to do it. And once he came out of the OR and started talking to my mom, he told them that if we would not have done the surgery, that I probably wouldn't have made it through the weekend. I had such a bad infection that had spread throughout my intestines, and it was so infected, and there were so many issues once he had actually opened me up and started to perform surgery that he was not expecting. And there are a lot of parts of this disease that I'm not super comfortable talking about, only because it's not a pretty disease. And if anyone out there knows anyone that has Crohn's disease, or you suffer with Crohn's disease yourself, it's a very common disease. There are so many different spectrums of severity of the disease. I unfortunately was just on the severe end of it. And the doctors had said that was partially because I probably had Crohn's disease for a lot longer of a time than was diagnosed. So sorry if you guys, I just want to show you. He's up my butt today, of course, so he's just right here chewing his bone, so I'm sorry if that noise. The first surgery came and went. That was probably the hardest 3 months after that surgery that I had ever experienced in my life, with just some of the things that I had to deal with on a daily basis because of that surgery, and just the struggle that I went through with healing. But then I had to have a second surgery. So it was 3 months in between the first and the second. And the second surgery was a positive surgery. It was supposed to be the last one that we were planning. And it was just a very positive outlook on the entire journey that I had gone through, because it meant that we were near end, that I was near being finished with the suffering and being finished with being in pain, and just being finished with the unconfidence that I had endured during that time. I was not a confident person. I was not myself. I've changed as a person. There are a lot of things about me now that were not true a year ago. I really have tried to change my outlook on life, and I've tried to change the way that I think and the way that I treat people and the way that I just look at things. I went through so much pain in the matter of 1 year that I didn't think that I was going to make it out. I did not think that there would ever be a day that I would not be in pain, and here I am. I am so happy for the support system that I've had, and I'm so excited for the future, and I'm so excited just to really start my life over, because my outlook on so many different things have changed, and I am sorry for those of you that are watching this vlog and had no intentions of really caring about this. I understand that, like, my disease is not your problem, and a lot of you probably don't really care to hear about it either, and that's fine, but I know that some of you guys do care, and I know that there are other people out there with this disease that are probably suffering the same way, maybe worse, and I want to be able to be there for those people, knowing you're not alone. You are not alone. I just know that there are people out there that have gone through much worse. I am not someone that wants to throw a pity party for myself. I know that there are people out there going through way worse things than I could even imagine going through. But I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I went through it. The reason I feel that way and the reason I look at things that way is because of what I went through. Yes, I know where I was, and I know that I was in the worst spot of my life. I had never gone through anything even close to that amount of pain. So I can only imagine someone that's going through way worse. It's sad. But at the same time, it's inspiring. It makes me want to be a stronger person. It makes me want to live life to the fullest. It makes me want to live every day with no regret. So, yeah. Now that I've rambled and have gone on about this, I just wanted you guys to know that if you're suffering with anything that holds you back on a daily basis and makes you feel like you can't do the things that you used to do or the things that other people are doing that you want to do, you can. You can do what you want. You can do whatever you set your mind to, and you can't let something hold you back. You can't let a disease, an illness, anything hold you back from doing what you want to do. I think that has a lot to do with me and YouTube. YouTube is something that I have always wanted to do. I mean, I have watched people like Casey Holmes and Jaclyn Hill and Amanda Ensing and Megan Lee. I've watched those people for years, and they inspire me to find inspiration in makeup and find happiness in makeup and find just that love for something. Just from watching them inspire me to want to do my own channel. I want to have a channel that people can watch my videos and just escape from what they have going on their normal lives. I want my channel to be somewhere that you can come to escape from reality and watch makeup and enjoy it as much as I do and talk about makeup and beauty and lifestyle and things that relieve your stress and relieve your anxiety of the day-to-day life. I mean, life isn't easy, but I want my channel to be somewhere that you guys can come and have it easy. I am glad that I shared that with you guys, and I hope that it doesn't make you look at me any different, and I hope it doesn't change your view on my channel, and I hope that there isn't anything that comes back from this that isn't positive. Just because I wanted to share this with you guys, because I wanted everyone out there just to know that you're not alone. If you're going through something that's really hard in life, you're not alone, and there's probably someone out there that's going through whatever they're going through that's way worse. So, I love you guys. I hope that this clears up some things for you guys with all my issues that I've been talking about. But yeah, I am gonna get ready to start filming. So, yeah.